What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. So I owe you guys a sound clip. I never did start this thing. I decided right now I'm doing a diff fluid change, so I'm going to get started on that, but I figure I'll start it up for you guys, and I'll let you listen to it with the cutout open and with the cutout closed, and there'll be some more sound clips later on. But just know that the left side here is it's got some stuff coming out of it. It's just, that'll work itself out eventually there. Don't worry about it. Alright, so yeah, a lot of that stuff came out, made quite the mess, but I'm happy to get it out now. It's going to take some time before it's all worked out of there, and it's probably going to be blowing all over the car. So, it is what it is. I'm just going to have to take some drives and give her the beans and get that stuff worked out of there. I wish I cleaned it out a little bit better when I was in there, but oh well, we'll you know, live and learn. Never done that before, so. Anyway, we're gonna change the diff fluid now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the sound clips. I'm excited. It sounds amazing. I can't wait to get it under load and get it on the road. And I didn't mean to rhyme there, but it's gonna sound pretty sick. Cruising, I think. I know it's gonna drone. Excuse me. I'm sure it's gonna drone, but that's okay, because I have the ability to make it quiet again. And really, it sounds pretty similar to how it did, possibly a little bit louder because of some leaks and some free-flowing exhaust, but it's pretty similar to the stock sound, and then it gets wide open and it's crazy loud. So hopefully you could tell in the sound clips the difference in the sound, because it sounds dramatically different in the car. At least it's a lot less rumbly, so that's cool. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the sound clips. Now let's get to changing the differential fluid. So here we are under the car, and here is the differential. I'm on the passenger side of the rear diff. And when you do this, you probably want to jack the whole car up to make sure it's level. But there are no drain plugs on this differential. You have to suck it out of that same hole you fill it from. So that being said, it's a 9mm. My flashlight just died. It's a 9mm Allen. And what I did was I punched the actual Allen piece out of the socket set, the 3/8 drive socket set I had, because you don't have a lot of room. So you just punch that out of the center with a punch, and then use a 10mm wrench to put on that. And you should be able to get that plug out of there with some force. You could double wrench if you need to, and get that out of there. I'm going to put some thread sealant on there because it looks like it was leaking. So what I'm going to use is this thing here, which is powered by compressed air, and it's like a suction gun, and it'll suck from the hose over here. So I'm just going to run that hose in there and all around until I can try to get all the fluid out of there that I possibly can. And once I think I got enough, I will fill it up with a syringe with some new fluid, and we'll just fill it up until it comes out. And that's why the vehicle's got to be level, because you want this level check to be correct, and it'll pour out when it's done. So it's pretty simple. I'm just going to do that just so I know it's good. I still want to do the trans, so I gotta collect some fluid, but I'd like to get this thing mobile again and out of the garage. And it's pretty much ready to do so, but this is something that I have the stuff to do, so I'm gonna do it. And it looks like the rear diff's been resealed at some point, possibly. I see like some anaerobic sealer, like too much coming out. I don't think that'll be factory. That's schmutzed in there. That's like somebody doesn't know what's going on. So who knows what's going on with this diff, but we're gonna load it up with some new fluid and send it. So what you want to do is just keep adding it until you get a nice little dribble. Hopefully you guys can see that dripping. And we're just going to let it drip until it's done, and that's how you set the level. So first thing I did was install the slip additive, because there's a limited slip in here. And I don't know if this stuff has it in there. It probably does, but it doesn't say it. So we're just adding it. I think I have some rear axle stuff that probably does have it, but I wanted the 75/90, and I had just enough with the slip additive. So we are all set, and this thing is properly changed. So I'm just going to wait until that finishes dripping, and I'm going to put a little bit of pipe sealant on the plug because it was leaking. So we'll do that, and I'll clean it off, and we'll be all set on our diff fluid change. We should be able to put this thing on the ground. So I kind of let this thing drip overnight, and maybe that was a bad move because it stinks in here so bad. Old gear oil, there's nothing like it. You know, it's like a burnt tranny. They just stink a lot. Like, there's clutches in there, and the stuff burns, and it's just nasty. Especially if you leave it sealed up in a garage all night. It really starts to stink. So I'm gonna get that dumped into my fluids container over there, and we're gonna put the plug in. I'm gonna put some thread sealant on it and send it home. And then I think we're ready to put this thing back on the ground, and I might try to yank the cluster out of this thing and see if I can fix the cluster in it, and then I'll meet you around there. So I'm down here in the basement, and I'm taking this cluster apart. I already took off the lens. It's just all these screws on the outside, you know, all the way around, and then there's some screws that come in from the back side here. There's two here, two on the outsides, and two on top, but they come up this way into this piece. So I'm lifting this piece off, and this is the section where we have to remove this LCD chip here without destroying it, and that's how we separate this thing. So I'm going to watch the video online on how he does it and the right way to do it on CorvetteBaddy.com. He's got videos on how to do all this stuff. So I'm going to watch that so I don't break it, because you can crack this glass here. The problem is it's in these little tabs here, so you can't pull it out too far because you'll crack it. So you kind of got to pull it out a little bit and push it up at the same time, out and up, so you can get it over this ridge without, you know what I mean? So you just got to make sure you don't crack this. That's a big no-no. So you got to be careful of not breaking the glass right here, because these are hard to come by and expensive, and mine works good, so I don't want to wreck that. So we're going to try to be very careful. We're going to watch a video and do everything like we're supposed to do. So it really wasn't that bad to get it out. You just have to be mindful, like you're pulling up here. If you pull up too hard, when it does break free, it's gonna just come flying, and you're not gonna be able to catch it, you know, before you can snap the tabs off. So don't pull really hard. Keep light pressure and don't use any tools on it, because you can crack the glass. But if you pull really lightly and you push up, this thing is flexible. You can move this up. So as soon as you get over, where is it? There's a lip here, right here. As soon as you get over this lip in this corner, that's when you can really like slide it up a little bit, and then it just comes right out. So it's not that bad, but just be really careful, because you know those glasses are not available, as he said. And then you just pull it apart, and then all the gauges have little tangs there. Those pins all go through these guys here. So you just have to you're pulling all those out. So you got to be really gentle and work your way around the board, pulling it off. And like I said, watch this guy's video. He knows exactly what he's doing. And he's able to guide me to get to this point. And I'm looking at this guy, which I believe is our chip that we need to resolder. And it looks all corroded, which maybe that's a good sign, you know? So I'm going to follow his procedure now for using the solder sucker and my soldering iron and a little new solder to get all the old solder off of here. And I'll try to put this down on a good surface for that, and we'll get to work.
Away. Another way to do this is with solder braid.
You want the solder sucker though. It makes it so easy, guys. Look at it. I got it all out. So here's the chip right there. I was able to get it out pretty cleanly. And I did bust this circuit board up here. So I'm going to try to repair that. I'll show you guys how I do that. But he's just going to clean it up with a little solder braid, and I probably will do that. And then I think he washes the board down, which will be good. And then we can focus on soldering our new chip in there, which I think comes pre-calibrated. So that's pretty good. We're doing really good so far. I didn't think it was going to go this smoothly, but when you have the right tools, which is this soldering iron here, I got this here Pine Sil or whatever. I'm not sure what. I guess that's what the brand says. It says doesn't say on there, but it says in the box. But it's nice. It's USB-C powered, so you kind of have to have like a USB-C laptop charger. But if you do, it's pretty nice because it's so lightweight, and I'm really enjoying how it's working. It seems you can set the temperature specifically for the right temp, and it's doing a really good job of melting the solder, which is all I could really ask for in a soldering iron. And all the other ones I have are hammered. So he was saying that if you see any wrinkling on the top, that means it's pretty much bad. So hard to get it to focus there, but you can see a little grayness on there, a little blistering, he said. So this thing might be fried. So it's kind of interesting that it worked at all when I got the car, but yeah, maybe it didn't, and I'm imagining it, you know. So we'll hopefully fix it with this chip. So here is what I did. Since I ripped this trace right off the board, I took a piece of solid core wire that I had, and I soldered it to where that's supposed to go on the chip, and then it does pass through all the way around here, but that part should still work. But the part that went up to this resistor up here, I blew that piece off. So I just came through with that little piece right on our calibration chip and sent it into the other side of that little, maybe it's a capacitor or something like that. Who knows if it's necessary, but I doubt it's not necessary. So I decided I would fix it, obviously, to the best of my ability. So hopefully that fixes it, even though I blew the trace right off of it. Hopefully it works. So I'm going to put my bowl back in, and then we're set to reassemble. I'm leaving this glue on, because I had glued those other things on there that I soldered, and when I peeled the glue off, it peeled the trace right off. So that was kind of stupid on my part. I guess another live and learn situation, you know, that's how it goes. I'm always doing new stuff with these things, so it's good to be learning, and hopefully you guys learn from my mistakes too. So yeah, hopefully this works, and I'm gonna let it rip, and I'll let you guys know. I'm gonna go put it all back together, because that was the only thing I really cared about fixing. So it's a couple days later, and I put the cluster in, and guess what? It's still broken. So it's kind of a bummer. I'm gonna drive with it in there, and I'll have taken apart for a little while longer, just because why not? And based on that, I'll just keep enjoying the car, and we'll figure the cluster out later. I'm thinking about buying a cluster, just because I don't really know what's wrong. It's not my forte. I can change a part on a circuit board, but to diagnose the board, I can't be bothered. I just don't have that kind of time right now. So I tried it. I threw a part at it. Kind of was a waste of money and time, but hey, it is what it is. Live and learn. Once again, we're screwing up all kinds of stuff, but that's how you learn. And don't do what I'm doing. Don't just throw parts at stuff. But sometimes you get burned. Sometimes you make out. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Gonna do a little bit of a cord stuff. So I'm gonna work on opening some of these boxes over here. So check out the next video for that. Or the cord video will probably get posted first. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video on the Corvette. And it's coming together. I'll put it back on the ground soon and take it out for a rip very soon. I can't wait. This weekend.